Hey guys, Matt I here back here with Lee Boyce. We said there would be another video coming, and it is now here. We are here. We're just gonna let you guys in on a few things. And first off, I just wanted to with Lee here, something that's always on my mind with how long that you've been in the game of training, personal training, teaching about strength, on all these different avenues, writing, personal training, college instructor. It's like what keeps you motivated, man, to keep going? What excites you in working with your clients and just what is that motivation for you when you've been in so long and so consistent? How do you keep going, man?
Well, I think that first of all, fitness is the gift that keeps on giving and the game that never ends and nobody wins, right? And
Oh yeah.
so just from that perspective, the fact that it's such a lifelong pursuit, the actual act of physically training, it means that there's always going to be something to learn or to sharpen up on or to practice and all that. And so, that in and of itself can be a motivator for me to keep going with my own training, but more importantly, to continue teaching and instructing people on training and giving people tips. Now, on top of that, there is another layer to this, and that is we're in the AI generation, we're in the hands-off generation, we're in the as impersonal as possible generation that we can exist in. And from that standpoint, it's becoming more and more rare to have, a personal touch to things, to have a human component to things. And I think that's what makes this industry more unique than it's ever been before. People are thinking that AI and bots and all that stuff and chat GPT and stuff is going to push us out of having a job, but I think it's going to do the opposite and galvanize the trainers who are working with their clients and with potential new clients because it's just one more thing otherwise that becomes automated that we don't necessarily want to be automated. And there are also unique skill sets that come with a physical trainer versus one that's just AI who doesn't know you personally. So, there are all those reasons why I think that it just keeps me having a desire to continue doing what it is that I've been doing. And I think that a lot of people benefit from it.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. I think with what you're saying there, I mean, I think the same thing, like being with all the technology and all the stuff and people wanting quick, just a couple clicks and they can get whatever they want. I agree that you can't replace the personal touch, because we are still human and we're always still going to need personal one-on-one connections. There's things that can't just be delivered automatic in a one-size-fits-all way. And I think, with you still putting the bulk of your time into one-on-one personal training, me having a personal training touch kind of in a group facility, you just see working with so many different shapes and sizes, how everybody needs something a little bit different with how you communicate with them, with how you get the message through. And I think that's all a personal touch that you put in with the skill set of obviously knowing about squats and deadlifts and the hands-on stuff. But I think that's something is always something that when I see someone and they get it, or they start moving a little bit better, they start feeling a little bit better, they start telling me, they've got more energy, or the relationships are better, or this is the type of stuff for myself personally, where it's like, okay, and I like you say with the gift that keeps on giving, it is true. It's like you just see it over and over and over. And I'd agree. It's just that reminder in our position, like, well, we got to keep educating people on that gift. We got to keep using what we can to give that people that gift to themselves, really.
Yeah, and between the two of us, I think there's about 35 or so years of experience, right?
Yeah.
In personal training or the training world in general with clients. And so you talk to somebody who's 24 years old or who's just in their first or second year of doing this, and they would have a totally different opinion. I know that mine was different at the time when I was that age. When it comes to sustainability of this work or the motivation to continue doing this work and all that stuff, I love to do what I was doing, but I thought things like AI or that being more hands off or going into an online space or whatnot, those things were trending and those things are still trending now. And, you talk to somebody who's working for a gym and chances are they have aspirations of going in that direction. right out the gates almost, right? And so there's something to be said for the people who stick it out and realize that being that person in the gym on the floor working with clients, that can be replaced, and that can be that's worth its weight in gold and beyond, right? So I have a special appreciation for people who will stay in that game past, let's say, the age of 30 and or 35 even, right? And I have a special place for in my own heart for doing that myself as somebody who's past the age of 35 and who's now in year number 18 and still keeping busy with a client roster and everything like that. Despite all the other stuff that I have going on that I do with teaching and speaking and writing and all that other stuff, and even online coaching, the main bread and butter. We were saying this just off the air before. The main bread and butter is the in-person training, and that's going to stay a mainstay. It's going to remain as a mainstay because it's something that's irreplaceable, and because of that, I've been able to do a lot of the other stuff. Right? It's because of the skills that I possess as an in-person trainer that have afforded me the abilities to go speak or to be asked to start teaching or to be a writer and have things to share in written form. Those are the reasons why, and it's all coming back down to the same common denominator. So again, that's it. Sort of piggybacks off the first question of like what keeps you motivated. Like the training that's the mecca. That's the bread and butter right there. And I have such a place in here for it, and I won't ever stop. I was talking to one of my friends a few years ago, and my friend Kyle, he was telling me that he wants to be a trainer for life as well. He wants to be that jacked 72-year-old trainer on the gym floor who is
Yeah.
still, and all the other people are younger, but he's still that guy, and he's just a wealth of knowledge, and he's old, but he can still crack out squats with 2 plates or whatever, all that sort of stuff. And that's kind of cool. I won't lie.
Absolutely, man. The strength for life. That's exactly what we're talking about, right? And I really what resonates with me there is just what you said, that deep down in your heart, it's there. And I actually remember talking about your speaking opportunities. It might have been the first event that I actually saw you speak at, where your message was to trainers, encouraging them to stay in the game and develop, because the stats show most people dabble as a fitness coach for 3 years, 5 years. It's not what they thought it was. They get overwhelmed by the schedule and different things, and then they drop out and they do something else. And that you're saying, it's a rarity, but we need more people to stay in the game, because it's going to make us more effective. That's where all the gains are happening, not in the first year or two, but after 7 years, 10 years, all the experience that adds up, you're going to be more and more effective, right? But and you were saying it's a big problem in the fitness industry. Not enough people are staying around that long, and it's a disservice to the people who need our help, right?
Yeah. That talk was that was with at Andrew Coates' event, Evolve, and it
Yeah.
was called Trainer for Life, and it was about exactly that. Is that we're sold this idea that after a couple of years of doing this stuff, that we got to graduate ourselves into being some kind of business development guru or something like that.
Mhm.
And I have my own thoughts about that avenue in the first place, but what I will say is that the average lifespan, and I didn't use any sort of statistics in this talk or anything like that, but like the average lifespan of a trainer is like 7 years or something in the fitness industry. And that could be due to a mix of things. It could be due to instability and like not too much, stability when it comes to the line of work. Could be due to just a lack of business. It could be due to changing of interests or a lack of physical capability. It could be due to a lot of stuff, right? Or people are doing it on the side of a regular, like a different type of career path that they want to embark upon. So they're using that as sort of side work. But it just brings all more reason for people like us to last the test of time first and foremost. But then it gives us more of a credibility and an authority to be able to run an event like the one that we're running,
Mhm.
because we've spent the time in the trenches, in the game, working with hundreds, if not, I mean, combined, definitely thousands of people,
Yep.
right? And all of that sort of can sort of pay itself forward to educating the general public. And like we said last podcast, this is the unique thing about this is that all of the events, the conference that you were just talking about that I spoke at, all of those events are about helping trainers. They're all about making trainers get better so that they can now teach their clients or train their clients better. And that's great. But what about the events that are geared toward actual public people, the general public? It doesn't exist. So we're kind of blazing a trail here. We really are. And the intent is that there's as many faces in in that audience that are new to this, the people who are brand new to this, who don't know which way to go, people who are experienced with training as well. They can learn a lot of new things from this too. You know, there's going to be a range of different information and advice that is going to help different skill levels and different capability levels of people, especially when you compound that with the hands-on day, the second day, when we're talking about going on the gym floor and actually working out. We're going to see things that involve progressions and regressions, how to program officially and effectively for what our goals are, for our time, for our backgrounds, as far as our fitness backgrounds go, all of that stuff. And so, it's going to take the lens and it's going to zoom it outwards a little bit so that it can appeal to a lot of the masses, but it's also going to zoom it inwards to our individual needs and desires and wants too. So, this right here this is a one of one. It really is.
Hmm. Yeah, I agree. And just hearing you talk about it, I'm excited for the opportunity, for the faces that we're going to see, and the possibility to use the stage to make an impact, right? But I agree. I mean, all shapes and sizes. You know how many different shapes and sizes that we've worked with. So there's so many different ranges of people that can benefit. I think it all comes down to just again, just clarity on social media. It's so hard for people to know how to do what they're supposed to do or to achieve the result that they want to achieve, right? And we've got the keys to the kingdom and we know it. You know what I mean? And people need that clarity. People need those tools. People just need that direction. And I think to cut through it and then reinforce that with just the mental benefits that come from strength training as well, and how it all comes together. I can't help but want to get that message out and want to make more of a difference, you know?
Yeah. Now the onus is on it's on Didsbury, it's on Olds, it's on all those areas of Alberta to really come through here and make sure that your face is shown, that you're in attendance for this, because this is not something that comes around too often in the fitness industry as a whole. Now, our intention is to have this run over and over again over the years, right? Until we're 72-year-old trainers and stuff like that. But
Yeah.
but first and foremost, it starts with making sure that we have butts and seats, and that there's people to instruct, people to educate here, right? And so it's again the reinforcing thought here is that there is going to be something for everyone, right? There really will be. Whether you're a complete newbie and novice to this or somebody who's been lifting seriously for the last 25 years, there's going to be something there that you take away that's going to be very useful and worthwhile. And it's covering such a broad span of topics, from programming to training technique to body type specificity to the mental component to nutrition. It's an all in one here. And me, you, and Joanne Peters as well, coming in with some content too. It's going to be something special. It's going to be really good. I keep saying the same things, but it's true. It's just really special.
I know. We can't help but be excited. And thanks for joining me again here, Lee, on another video. Learn a little bit more about you. And I can't wait to have you out this way. And what are we at here? We're at the 13th, man. So we're like 5 weeks out here from the talks in Olds, where we're gonna kick this thing off, and then the hands-on the next day. Anyone watching this video, there's gonna be more to come with Lee. There's gonna be more to information on the event coming soon, and I'm really looking forward to the faces that we see there and the difference we can make. If you have any questions or comments or anything we didn't hit, feel free to comment on this video. And otherwise, we will sign off here, and we'll be back at it in a little bit. Stay tuned for more info on the Strength for Life Summit coming your way. This is Matt. Lee, you out? All right.
Oh,
Yeah.